Hello Fifis and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Indiana Jones Adventure Series figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at two figures from the line, one of which is an exclusive to Hasbro Pulse and independent retailers, as far as I'm aware. The other is a standard release within the main line. I decided to do these two together just because they complement each other quite well, featuring the same scene. And so, without further ado, today we're going to be having a look at Indiana Jones Map Room, of which is the exclusive and doesn't feature the Build an Artifact piece, and Sallah, of whom is in mainline and, well, features the Build an Artifact part. As always, we're going to take a look at the packaging first and then the figures themselves. It's a windless box, and as such you've got a CGI mock-up of the figure on the front of the box there. Indiana Jones Adventure Series at the very top, some legal MacGuffin at the bottom, and also differences between the two. Obviously, Sallah does have the Build an Artifact feature listed on the box via this little logo of Build an Artifact, whereas Indy does not. It's completely blank because it doesn't come with it. As always, you've got some lovely artwork of the characters on the box there as well, and then if you move that around to the sides, it continues on. You've got Indy there in the map room with the Staff of Ra, and on Sallah's box you've got him looking very, very happy, helping Indy with the Ark of the Covenant. As always, you've got that plastic packaging free MacGuffin text at the bottom there on both of these. On the other side of the packaging, you do have a feature of other characters that are available. Just noting on the Sallah one, it does mention about the Build an Artifact feature again, showing what parts come with what figures, whereas the Indy map room just shows other figures in the line, not really making a note of this. There's a ton of legalese on the side as well. Then on the back, you've got a notation of the film that these characters are from, pictures or CGI renders of the figures themselves, and a rundown of the accessories that they come with, as well as a ton of legalese at the bottom, also at the very bottom there as well. And while that's the packaging over and done with, let's take a look at the figures themselves. Both these figures feature the same articulation, so I'm going to run through that first with one of them and then we'll look at the figures individually. So putting Sallah just to one side for a moment, in terms of articulation, they have ball jointed heads on dumbbell joints, and neck joints, they can look down, butterfly joints in the shoulders, ball joints to the shoulders as well, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips, swivels at the tops of the thighs, ball jointed knees, ball jointed ankles with the rocker joints. So you can get both of these figures in relatively good poses. I would like to note though that in terms of the head articulation, it's slightly limited with both of them, just a little bit, due to the nature of the headwear. It's not too bad with Sallah, but with Indy at least, because it is quite a hard piece of plastic, you can't really get him to look that far down. Likewise, in terms of the legs, they're a little bit hindered due to the robes, but it's not too bad in terms of traffic cone. You can still pose them quite well, particularly with Sallah, just the way how his feet are. Just give him a look at that. There's no real blockage in terms of the trousers that he's wearing. You can get some really good articulation in terms of those feet, so you can really get a great motion on that. However, with Indy, if we just show Indy's legs off, his feet are a little bit limited just due to the nature of the trousers that they've used, of which is reuse from the Wave 1 Indiana Jones and his Adventurer's gear. If you haven't seen that review's up there if you want to check that look out of Indy. So yeah, they're just some of the limitations in terms of posability with these figures. Now, with articulation aside, let's take a look at the figures individually, starting off with the main man himself, Indiana Jones. So here we have Map Room Indy, looking pretty damn accurate as to how he appears in this costume in the film. Of course, you've got that head wrapping, of which isn't removable, it's actually stuck down onto the figure's head. But that likeness again is pretty damn good for Harrison Ford. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Of course, you've got the robes, and then kind of hidden underneath there, you can see his satchel, which again is reused from that Wave 1 Indy, well, that's slung around him like so. Looks very, very cool. And as I did mention, in terms of the trousers, they are reused from that Wave 1 indie. Just because in the scene, he does just kind of throw these robes on to kind of disguise himself. Of course, you've got the boots there. And unlike the Wave 1 indie, the boots are actually weathered a little bit. With a light dry brushing of a sand colour, just to make it look like he's been trudging through the sand, which is very nice. And you can kind of see this prominently as dry brushing on the lower part of the robes and on the sleeves of the arms as well. Interesting that they went for a whole plastic robe, just because the 3 3/4 inch release way back was material, and you could actually take that off and you would have the base body of the figure. Weird thing with that figure as well is it didn't actually come with the Staff of Ra, which isn't really accurate for the film. And that brings me quite nicely into talking about the accessories. So this figure does include a Staff of Ra, which is really, really nice to see. So you've got the headpiece at the very top there. And of course it's mounted on this very long pole. It would be cool if that was actually removable. It's not, it's a solid piece, but it's really well sculpted, and it is indeed sculpted on both sides. This one isn't a Nazi fake, it's the real deal. Because if you remember in the film, the Nazis use a casting from Tote's hand, which is actually featured on that figure. Again, review up there if you want to check my review of him out. And well, that's the reason why the Nazi staff is too long, and as such,
they're digging in the wrong place.
I'm not too sure if the staff itself is accurate in terms of the height. I'm sure someone out there has probably measured it. It's not that deep to me. It's representative. It looks right. Staff, it's included. It's a good thing that they've included it. Additionally, he comes with a book or journal that he does scribble in, just to mark out where the position is from the map room. So it's really nice that they've included that. He also comes with this looped up rope, of which is the same that comes with Sallah. It's just coloured slightly differently. It's a bit lighter, whereas Sallah's is more in a sort of tan colour. It's just a solid plastic piece that just goes around the shoulder. It would have been nice if it was actual rope or string, but I mean, you can find your own rope, I suppose, if you did want to create an actual look for Indy to be abseiling down. It's entirely up to you if you wanted to do that. You can do it yourself. That's a DIY thing. Now, not only that, same accessory that Sallah actually comes with is this shovel. It's coloured differently to the one that, again, Sallah comes with. Sallah's is actually quite clean and quite well looked after. There's also a lighter handle on his, whereas Indy's is a dark brown and has some actual dirt weathering on the actual shovel head itself. So yeah, kind of cool and interesting that they've included that. And well, that's all the accessories that this figure comes with, which is a decent amount of accessories. I'm surprised that they didn't put this in Wave 1, just because, as I did mention in my Tote review, the Ark of the Covenant pieces could have easily been more divided up, so that this could have come with one, and maybe some other releases could have as well. I'm not too sure on Hasbro's logic there. Maybe they just wanted to get the Ark of the Covenant out there so people could actually get it and display the figures around it. I don't know. Answer a postcard to that. This is an exclusive. It doesn't come with a part. It just comes with these accessories. Again, it's probably going to vary on your mileage if it's a must-have figure, but as an exclusive, yeah, I kind of get the logic behind that. I kind of get logic behind having this figure as an exclusive. But it's a nice inclusion to the Indy line. It's also a different look for Indy. Well done on Hasbro for that. So with Indy out the way and done with, let's take a look at his busy mate, Sallah.
A British tar is a soaring soul, as free as a mountain bird. His energetic fist should be ready to...
So here we have Sallah. Let's get a close-up on that head sculpt, of which is a decent, not perfect, but decent likeness to John Rhys Davies. I think it could have been a little bit better, but it's still okay. It's still fairly recognisable from certain angles. We've got the headgear on here as well, which is quite nicely weathered. And that's kind of prominent on some of the clothing that he's wearing, which is really good to see. Of course, you've got his jacket. It's nice trim detailing. Then, of course, we go down looking at the robes. Very, very good. And just give you a look at the inside of the legs, if I can. Kind of interesting to see what legs they've gone for there. I don't think this has been used yet on any of the other figures, but I could probably see that being used on something. Yeah, very, very good. You're not going to really see them though. Well, the robes are going to cover that. But it's worth just showing off. And again, there's some dirt detailing just going on the front of the figure just there. Not too much going on. It's not that intricate really in terms of detailing things, but it is interesting to note the reuse that has gone on with this figure. As we've kind of mentioned with the Matte Prume Indie, the accessories particularly are exactly the same. The arms as well, it's worth noting, have been used on the Indie figure. So the arms are the same, but the other parts are completely different. I mean, they could have really cheaped out and just slapped the head from Sallah onto this, but they didn't. They actually did go with a different base body or create a new base body. I get reuse, there's no issue with it when it's done right. So, you know, reuse with the arms is fine, reuse with the accessories, fine, no issues with that at all. And speaking of which, in terms of the accessories, as we've kind of shown, he comes with the shovel in a different coloration to the one that Indy comes with, and also the rope as well, which he can sling around his shoulder. And that's all the accessories that he comes with, of which, in my personal opinion, I think they could have really given this figure some additional little accessories. I get that he does come with a Ark of the Covenant piece, of which we will get into shortly. The 3¾ inch version included, yeah, a shovel, maybe didn't come with the rope, but it did come with a torch, and I think a torch being included with this figure would have been really cool and would have made a lot of sense. So it's disappointing that this didn't come with that. It would have been an easy little accessory that they could have packed in. Maybe even some snakes as well.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Asps. Very dangerous. You go first.
That would have been really cool. I think this line would be really bolstered with the inclusion of creatures with some of the figures, particularly within a release like this, of which is quite basic. There's not that many accessories that you could really give him. Alas, he doesn't. That does kind of slightly reduce the value for me, because this figure is actually priced up at £24.99, where some of the other figures in the standard line are a lot cheaper than him. And it does kind of make you question where's the value for money. But with that being said though, and like I did mention, he does come with parts to build the Ark of the Covenant. The top roof of it and the bottom legs. It comes packed like this, and that did really confuse me for some reason when I opened it out of the box, but it's a nice storage way, to be fair. When you actually look at it practically, you just unclip it, it comes apart like that. So the walls form around it, and then obviously this sits at the top. I will be doing a video on this once I've fully built it, just to show you how that works. It's a good feature. I really like this feature with these figures. It adds a little extra value for money, but still deep down, I really think this figure could have come with a few extra accessories just to bolster the value for money. A torch, some snakes, that would have been really cool to see. And particularly once you've got the Ark of the Covenant built, you're going to want snakes to sort of litter around it just to recreate the scene. And snakes would have been the perfect inclusion to be given to Sallah or even Matte Prume Indie. But in terms of the Ark of the Covenant pieces, really like this. It's going to be quite big, I think, once you've got that built up. So we'll see how accurate it is once I've done it. So that's my thoughts on Sallah. Bit of a basic figure. Both of these on paper are quite basic figures. Extra accessories are always welcome, and I think they could have been needed, particularly with Sallah. Would have been nice to have seen some snakes. I think a torch, if not with one of these or both, would have been a nice touch as well. But overall, these two guys are really great. They definitely accompany each other really, really well. Sallah you could probably get, and if you've got a standard adventure indie, then that's going to work fine with him. But if you're going to get Matte Prume Indie, it's a done deal that you need to get Sallah. Again, kind of basic figures on paper, but it's going to vary on your mileage as to how desperately you're actually going to want or need them in your collection. I'm really pleased that I've got them. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you picked these up? Share your thoughts and feelings in there. And while this is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching.